Hi there everyone. So what are we doing today? Well, it is Friday and the weather, we were supposed to be getting a nice sunny day, but it's been raining on and off with a couple of deluges, so we've not had the weather that we were promised. But I've hung off, in my opinion, long enough, so I'm going to be doing my daily cutting and I'm going to be adding some feed at the end as well. Now, one of the main ways that you can thicken up your grass, you can add all the feed that you want, but the main way to thicken up your grass is to cut it regularly. So that's something I've kind of been avoiding. Start of the summer I was cutting it every day or 2 days, so I'm going to go back to that. I think to get myself started I will be cutting it daily. So cut it yesterday and I'm going to cut it again today, and then add some feed as well, just give it a bit of a boost, because the colour, it's not quite there for me. I want it to be a little bit greener and a bit thicker to compensate for a few of these worm casts. Anyway, let's get mowing. Now you might notice here where the cat has scorched it that the grass around it is actually growing quite thick, and that's because inside the urine there is a chemical that does thicken up the lawn, but it's too much for the lawn to deal with. That's why you get these patches. But around the edges where there's not that much, it does actually feed around the edges, but it does give you very unsightly patches like over there. So yeah, that's why you get like that ring around the edge. Here's what's come off for like it doesn't look a lot. It probably isn't a lot, but that's just for 1 day's growth on quite a small lawn. So it does show that the lawn is still growing, even though we are heading into September. You can see that this is the final product of second cut in 2 days. Still just not quite got the colour, so I am going to apply a little bit of feed onto it now. I've tried my best to cut it into double stripes, and that's so I know where I'm going with my feed. Obviously be able to review the effect it's had within a couple of days. Yes, I'm using this Miracle Grow all-purpose plant food. It does say plant food, but you can use it on lawns. It says there, mix 1 large spoonful in 4.5 litres now, and that'll feed 2.5 metres squared. Now my watering can is 11 litres, so 2 spoonfuls, and that'll do for the watering can. Now the lawn is like 5 metres wide by 4 metres. Right, so it's 4 by 5, so I'll have to do 4 watering cans. So that's why I've cut the lawn into the double stripe, to try and make sure that I'm effectively feeding it. Yeah, like if you overfeed it, you just get these white bits left on the lawn, which I really don't like, because you have to go over it and water it. And if you've seen on one of my shots, my hose pipe's broken at the moment. I am going to fix it, but yeah, I don't want any of those white bits on the lawn. So if anything, you want to underfeed it rather than overfeed it. In fact, you want to get it 100% right, but you don't want to overfeed it. I had a bit of a disaster. The feed's gone to pot. It's got all wet. I don't think I can use that. I have managed to salvage it. We've salvaged some of it, but I have got some feed in the garage. I'll just use this. It's only enough for 1 watering can. I will use this, but then I'll have to go back onto my normal feed. I don't know why I just didn't do that in the first place. So, to cover 5 square metres, it's a shame because I preferred putting the liquid feed on, to be honest. There we go, that's the liquid. Have to get the spreader on it now. Oh, okay, so I'm back inside and I've obviously decided to use the actual feed, which I should have done in the first place, but I was just trying to get rid of it, to be honest, before winter, but it was pretty pointless. So I've decided obviously to use the proper feed that I normally use, which is this Miracle Grow Complete 4-in-1 lawn treatment. It says greener in 7 days, and that's what I'm hoping for. Now, it has worked pretty well in the past. We're going for, it's 35 grams max per square metre. I'm going for 16 square metres. You could do 35 times 16, but I'm going to go on the side of caution and go for 30 times 16, which is 480. So I've got my scales here, set it to 0, even though I've put it on 0. I'm going to pour it in carefully because it normally goes everywhere. There we go, it's going to pour it in there. What are we on, 104? 480 we're going for. I mean, we're having a disaster today. I've over poured it. It's all solid and I'm gonna have to try and get it back in. I've over poured. Oh, blooming heck. This is a disaster. Okay, we got it to 478. That's pretty accurate. It's important to measure it out because if you don't, you're going to overfeed it or underfeed it and you'll either scorch the lawn or it won't come through green enough. So I do like to weigh it out, and that's worked really well for me in the past. Right, let's get outside and get it on the lawn. Right, I got my hand spreader. Good, just make sure it spreads evenly. We've got our feed. Let's get on with it. Okay, so that's the feeding done. Swept a little bit off the drive because you don't want to get it on your drive because it will stain it, and it's really difficult to get that staining off. So that's what you've got to watch out for when you're feeding. I forgot that, and I first started feeding it towards the driveway, and then I realised then I did it away because I don't want any like unsightly marks on the driveway. So yeah, so thanks for watching. And so we've given it a daily cut, we've given it a feed, we've had a bit of trials and tribulations again, but I think we should start to see results in probably 2 or 3 days. I'll keep you posted. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one.